Welcome everyone to Heroes, the making of the game. So what does it take to actually get a game from concept to actually having it on your device? Stay tuned and you'll find out. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about game development. And I am really excited about this because this is actually how you get the product in your hand. So it goes from the brains of somebody and it has to go through a process of development. And that is these guys' specialty. So let's welcome Julio and Jonás. They are both a part of our team. Jonás, before we got started, we kind of talked a little bit about what you do. And it's kind of like one of the most important jobs, in my opinion, because it kind of helps make sure that all the flow is going. So why don't we explain a little bit about what the environment is that you create so multiple people can be working on a project at the same time?
Yeah, sure. It is an important task, but all the tasks that we do, all the people work together to do their best. But in specific, related with my tasks, we have people from many countries, and so we face issues like time zone, difficulties to talk with everybody at the same time. But also we have a platform that we use, it is Git Lab, where we can have all the tasks there. We can have the code, something like we can like a version of code, so you can see who is implementing what and how. And this is the main technology, main tool that we use to have all the team working together, so they can access that, see the tasks that are listed, so they can pick up which has more priority and start working on that.
Okay, so you said that you use GitLab. Julia, would you be able to explain what is GitLab for those of us who have never heard of it, don't know what it is? What is GitLab?
So GitLab is a service that holds a service that we call Git. So there are many services out there that holds this protocol that we call. This is something where we can version code. So we can go back at any point in history, of the code or whatever it holds in this protocol, and then it's there. We can even differentiate. We short call it as with diff. For example, the current version with any version in the past, and we see what was different. It's brilliant, for example, for solving bugs, to understand how we implemented and how it progressed in history, how it evolved from the past to the present age. And this is, in few words, that's what it is. Also, this is the Git protocol, but you asked about GitLab. So GitLab has this, and then we can attach many things around that. For example, the tickets where we pick up the tasks that Jonás mentioned, we can assign this to people, and we can also organize like in times of the process, for example, whether this is ready for development, whether this is in progress, whether this is being reviewed by someone. This all can be sorted out in this environment called GitLab.
So it sounds like a great organization tool, because you can kind of put in there all the different tasks that need to get done, and you can kind of see where they are in the status. So are they in process? Are they being tested? Is it still open? So you put this all in there, correct? So that's part of what your job is. How do you decide who gets assigned what?
Yeah, we have, each people has some specific technology that they demand or they are used to work on that. So for example, Julio is a specialist in C++ and Real Engine. So he is our main developer that will work on that. And also we have guys like that knows about layout and then it's the UI, so they will work on UI. And then we assign it this way. If we have more people that knows the same, can solve the same problem, they will pick up the first one on the list, because this item has more priority than the others.
All right, that makes sense. So now, okay, again, for those of us who don't know what all these things are, you said C++. So for me, as an American, C+ would be a really not fun grade for me to get on my report card, but I don't think we're talking about report cards. So what is C++?
So C++ is a layer of communication between humans and machines. This name has a historical charge in it. So the father of it was a language, or I could say a pseudo language, which is, for example, you can think of English, which is a complete human language. We have a much smaller set of words that the community said as a pseudo language, and to make it easier, we call it a computer language, which for historical reasons has this name C. And in the past, like 35, 40 years ago, it was like a script, and it was C. As the technology grew up, there were many problems, issues, and paradigms to solve. And having a single script was very hard to maintain the code, to read it afterwards, to find yourself inside that mass of code. So then they created a few other structures in language, which there are many tools, but the main of these tools is the object orientation. And I could dive a little bit into it, if you will. But this is the plus of the name C++. So it is the C, the script language, with a few more features, the plus. That's
okay. It. It's like the bonus version.
That's it.
Okay. So you also said UI. So I've kind of started like learning a little bit more about like app development. So help me out. I believe UI is user interface, correct? Yes? And then you have the UX, which is the user experience.
That's it. And they walk along. Yes.
Okay. So now both of these are two separate things. Okay. So what is the difference between user experience and user interface as far as how your team develops a game?
So let's say that the UI is a button, and the UX is the reason why that button exists. It's as simple as that, and you have people specialized in doing that, in developing the UI and the UX, thus the designers. And then we have the specialists that do that. As simple as that.
So we start with, obviously, like the design aspect, and we kind of see how it's going to work, and then we take that and then we put all the coding behind it to make it work. So we kind of figure out what we need, and then we create the coding to make that work. Would that be how it works in normal people speak? Yes?
So if I can answer that,
yeah.
It actually depends on how the team sets that up.
Okay.
Many teams start with the client needs. Let's say, for example, the general conference is a client. So they have their need. They want something. And then the designers can come up with a UX and a UI, or working both of them together. Or then the way that you said, we have something in mind. This is very raw, and then a designer puts all of that together. But the design walks along with the need, or sometimes even the other way around. We'd say that the design creates the need. They have some great designer has something in mind, and then all the team goes behind him, making that true. So there's the two setups.
So I've had the privilege of watching some of these concepts go from sketches on paper to actually using them myself. So I actually think I sent a sketch into one of you guys to kind of get it started. So like, I know it's kind of like, it's a very cool process to kind of see just like this idea in your head become a reality on my device. So there are a lot of young people like coding, gaming, all that. This is like a big deal nowadays. I have 3 children. They're all into gaming. And I know a lot of people who are into coding. What would you say to people who are interested in this kind of thing? What would be the next step that you would suggest that they could take to maybe up their coding game or to get involved in stuff like this?
I would say that it's good to be a gamer, but being a gamer is consuming an idea. More than that, I think you should take the initiative. Also, you should be very curious about everything in life, because gaming is all about reproducing the things that happen in life. So if today you are learning how a star works in the sky, why is that right? You know, why is that big? You know, anything not related even to anything. The dots don't have to be connected. Just learn. This is the first step, you know. And the second step, or the further steps are, you have to be organized. Actually, it depends. It's actually a very tough question because there are many roles. You could work with, you know, with the design, with animation, which is a wonderful job. You could work with the scenario, the levels, which are the maps, the world, the grass, you know, the details of the flowers, the clouds in the sky, all of these details, be detailist. Then you can do what I do, which is coding, which is all about coding physics, for example, coding communications between devices and cloud services, which is something rather technical, which has nothing to do with real life. So maybe you're curious, like a mathematician or a physicist or even a geologist, or you know, working with chemistry, because you are putting these all together in the game. Even liking, for example, religion and the spiritual side of things, this all can become a game. So in summary, I would say that live the life, and then you can reproduce that into a game.
Fair enough. I like that answer. And Jonas, how hard, like, because it seems like there are a lot of people who are interested in this, but is it actually easy to find people to fill the necessary parts of the team?
No, in fact, no. we face some difficulty on that. As you explained, there's a lot to learn, and there's many roads, many ways that you can reach that. But you need to start, you need to try. So it will be a pleasure to motivate people to start working on that, start learning, start studying, start trying. The most important thing is try. Even if you don't know something, go for it, try something, create a own project, you know, on game, on design something, use the gift you have, something like that. So then we can count with those people, because it's really a hard work, skills that need to be worked, improved, and so on. You need time for that. It's not something that you just, I will learn, I will be a game developer and in the next week you'll be ready. No, in fact, no.
So you're not going to hire me to join your team next week to start coding? Not a good plan, I don't think. All right, so we actually talked at the beginning about the fact that the team is actually worldwide that's working with you. Where are the different countries that the team is located in?
So it depends on the time that you make this question, right? Because we have full workers, and we also have temporary workers. So we had workers, we have today from Russia, from Pakistan, from England, from Portugal, from Brazil, But then during the process, we had more, for example, Netherlands. I'm not reminded all the places, but yeah.
I'm sure it's hard to keep track of all those time zones. So I just want to say thank you for joining us, talking to us about game development, trying to understand all the different words and all that stuff that go into it. And for those of you who are watching this, who have any kind of interest, you just heard we are struggling to find people who have these talents, these gifts. So if God has given them to you, or you kind of just even think that they might be something you'd be interested in, why not take the next step and try to enhance your skills? Find something that you can watch online, take some classes or some courses, do whatever you can, because who knows, maybe God is calling you for such a time as this to help create great biblical games for the world. So once again, we just want to thank you all for joining us. Make sure that you follow whatever channel you're watching this on so you can stay in the loop with any more videos that we put out. We have a whole series of just these, the making of a game, but we also have a lot of other fabulous content that is coming out on these channels every single day. So God bless you, and thank you for joining us.